Okay, I should be live. I actually wanted to stream earlier, like maybe about hour earlier, and I had a very frustrating experience. Long story short, I think I'm locked out of my Lichess account. Like I tried logging in, it didn't like my thing, and then it just blocked, or it said too many attempts and try again later. So here I am on chess.com. What to do? Streaming on chess.com, slightly against my desires, but try and make the best of it. I figured I'll play some rapid chess. I also decided to not multi-stream to YouTube as well, partly because I spent so much energy trying to get into Lichess, and secondly, it would take more energy to like make a YouTube thumbnail and schedule and do all this stuff for that. So I'm gonna spend the last energy I have for today playing some chess and chatting and hopefully keeping things chill. Okay, hopping in the pool. So my rapid rating on chess.com is 2505. This is not a speedrun account. This is my main account, which I don't use to play rapid too often. I'm going to play my usual thing. Maybe I'll mix up the openings in other games, but starting with a London. Thank you, D-Lambs, for the love. Happy 8 months. Yeah, c5 is a combative move. I used to play e3, but within the last year I switched to pawn d5. I think is maybe the objectively best way to play for some small edge in the opening. Also very often leads to Benoni positions, which we're getting here. Welcome back, Alex Werner. Happy 46. Yeah, I have studied this to some extent. Like usually castle and then a4 is very important. So I think black was ready to play b5. Welcome back, Aspen Magic. Happy 27. Now I just want to castle. I don't mind bishop g4. Like there are cases where white plays h3, but not worth my time just yet. There's a comment, hi, is this live? And then there was a reply, it's obvious AI. There was a video I posted at some point. People thought it was AI, but it was just me talking. Like promoting the fact I'd be at St. Louis Chess Club. Sorry if I maybe sound like AI. These days, I mean, AI is also sounding more real, so sometimes it's hard to distinguish. But as far as I know, this is not AI. Let's castle. A6 is an optimistic move. Black is hoping to someday achieve b5. I think now I'll play this. Or rook e1. Let's play this. Because if knight h5, I then have bishop h2. Happy early Thanksgiving. Yes, it is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Is this game like checkers? Yeah, basically the same board, but slightly different pieces. Okay, I'm just doing my thing. Have some time advantage. Welcome back to Choco. Had a bad chess tournament. Oh, but had sushi afterwards. Okay. Yeah, sushi makes everything better. Maybe depending on the sushi, but most of the times it makes things better. I haven't played checkers in a while. I played drafts maybe, what, a couple years ago was the last time? Drafts is very similar to checkers. Wow, so black is blundering and or sacrificing a pawn. I mean, I take it with tempo. This looks pretty good. Rook a8. Knight c4. I'll just keep doing my thing. We'll see if black can muster up some compensation. Also, we do have the DANYA command. I'm going to pin this this link in chat. I've had issues pinning it and then not having it stay pinned. But for those not aware, there is a Nerditsky Memorial Fund. It's pinned in chat. There's a QR code above my head. To everyone who's donated, it does mean a lot. It's going towards a very good cause. More information is in the link. Okay, let's take. So trying to simplify. Rook d4 is kind of a funny move, creating some busyness on the d file, and mainly attacking the pawn, which I can defend. Okay, we trade. Okay, so d5 is a bit of a target. The first thing I'm calculating is bishop e7. It's a pretty forcing calculation, like takes. I could throw in queen e8, but I also have just bishop e4, take. If I lose c2 or b2, then there's queen e8. That should be good. Yeah, let's play bishop e7. And if black doesn't take the pawn, then I'll play d6. Yeah, back when I was like 1600 US rating, I was stuck there for maybe a little over a year, and then I had a big spurt. Sometimes you just need to be consistent and just keep focusing on learning. Okay, d6 looks attractive. Take, check, king g7, and then d6, probably not necessary. I'd rather decide later if I want to trade off the bishop. I'm looking for the knockout here. It feels really close. I might just have to like bring more things into action, like rook d1. There's a5, which kind of looks attractive. Take, queen e8, king g7. Oh, it feels really close. a5, b5, knight b6, rook b8. Okay, let's start with this. I think it's important that I don't like take too long and get low on time or just overthink things. Up a pawn, and I have initiative and better pieces. I have to be grateful for what I have here. The tactics are very close. Like now, take, check, king g7, d7, bishop b7. Then black's stuck. I could play like rook e1. I don't see too many moves for black. Okay, let's go for it. Oh wait a minute, I could just take the bishop too. Yeah. d7 looked more appetizing at first, but a free bishop is a free bishop. d7 will come next. And this is pretty much resignable for black. So relatively smooth game. I think my opponent just was maybe a bit uncomfortable out of the opening and then kind of self-destructed. Can take a quick look. So it's basically all preparation through a4. I have made the mistake before of like playing too slowly here. Like h3 or bishop e2, I think are both mistakes. Like if white wastes a move, h3 looks very typical, like preventing bishop g4. Very often white will play this move to just prevent the pin. But b5 is very strong for black here. And if you play the Benoni or you play against the Benoni, you have to understand the power of this idea, where at first it looks like it's just a free pawn. like the knight and bishop can potentially take it and nothing's defending. But the problem is, okay, first of all, if the knight takes it, there's knight takes e4, and that's a bad trade for white. A wing pawn for center pawn. And if bishop takes b5, then there's a very elegant tactical sequence for black to still take on e4. Temporarily sacrificing the knight. After it takes, then queen a5. Winning back material. If knight c3 defending the bishop, black can take, take, and take. I believe this is just better for black. Okay, engine says equal if white plays the right move, but this is not what white wants from the Benoni. So yeah, instead of h3, a4, and yeah, my opponent played what looked to be normal moves, but didn't really have a cohesive plan. Sometimes black should put the knight on b4 here, or sometimes like knight a6, knight c7, and then more effectively prepare b5. Engine says b5, maybe play some kind of Banco type gambit. Yeah, e6 was in tennis this would be considered like an unforced error. Probably. In chess it's a blunder. So, I'll continue to play rapid. Maybe I'll take some opening requests. I'm just hopping in the pool, so I'm not really taking challenges. Playing this person. If anyone has any favorite black openings, now is the time to share. I think I'll play Sicilian. Nimzo Sicilian I have not heard of. I'm gonna just play I'm gonna play what I know. Like, I'm playing a decently high rated player. Okay, if open Sicilian I was gonna play Accelerate Dragon, but here I'll play my thing against delayed Alapin. So d5 is it's justified. Wow, bishop d3. It's that's a move. Definitely not a common move. Most people will take and play d4. I'm not sure if there's a great way to punish this. I think taken knight f6, but then bishop c6. Knight f6 immediately comes to mind. I should probably focus on developing. Bishop g4 also comes to mind. c4 I think is not really doing much, just bishop c2. Let's play knight f6. Okay, there were a handful of opening suggestions, but most of them will have to wait. We have some pretty fresh position after 4 moves. So one of the ideas is if white pushes, I would attack the pawn and then probably end up winning the pawn. So queen e2 makes some sense. It does allow me to snag the bishop pair. Kind of thinking bishop g4 here, just try and increase tension. I don't think there's any reason to take twice. Nice harmonious development. The bishop on d3 is a bit anti-harmonious, if that's a word, because blocks a bishop, or blocks a pawn which blocks a bishop, and yeah, the queen side can't easily develop for white. Oh, 2 knight f6 is a Nimzo Sicilian. Okay. Yeah, that's not something I've studied so much, but I know it's playable. Remember there was a game that Hikaru played as black, lost in 12 moves against Julio Becerra. Okay. Take on f3 is not necessary. Let's take on d5. Bishop c4 is likely coming. I'm thinking queen f5. There's also queen h5. Yeah, maybe queen h5 is a bit preferable. I mean, they both serve the same purpose, but the benefit of the queen on h5 is if h3, there's no threat because of the pin. Oh, dissonance instead of anti-harmonious. Okay. I need to expand my word knowledge a little bit. Yeah, 2a6 is a O'Kelly Sicilian, which I'm actually happy I didn't play in this game, because if I play a6 and white plays c3, it's one of the best lines for white. But that's an opening I've been looking into more recently. Has some fun ideas. Okay, so knight d2 is coming. If I want to double the pawns, I should probably take right away. That actually looks really good. If queen takes, I'll have knight e5. Guess there is knight d2 still. Oh, there's also bishop b5 check. Should I castle first? Castle, bishop f7. It gets a little bit murky. So I actually conceded the bishop pair, but white structure is not super desirable. I don't think knight e5 works, and does castling bishop f7, rook d3, bishop e6 looks wrong. So I think I just play e6. This is something I probably should have seen coming, but long term I still like my position, because the white pawn structure is somewhat of a permanent weakness, especially the d3 pawn. Because white can't easily play d4. Even if white could play d4, it's gonna eventually be weak. Is Alapin easy to learn? I guess it depends how deeply you want to learn it. With all openings, there's always more to learn. But I think to play at a very basic level, it's definitely beginner friendly. Ideas are pretty consistent. There's not too many common lines that black can choose from. Okay, let's castle. 7 a.m. chess, Pog. So that means you're watching from Europe? Yeah, let me know where people are watching from. It is just after midnight for me. 12:07 a.m. in the Midwest. Okay, now I'll play knight e5. Running to take on d3. Okay, we got a pretty diverse crowd. Got Sydney, Wyoming, South Carolina, Sweden. Oh, it's 5 p.m. in Sydney. Wow, far into the future. Canada, PHL? That's the Philippines, I assume? Qatar, Denver, New Jersey, yeah, Chicago, Ohio, Netherlands, Tennessee, California, UK, Texas, Zambia, New York City, Portland, Las Vegas, Finland, Arkansas, Philadelphia, Ohio, Mars. Zambia is crazy cool. Also alphabetically last. Okay, white's taking some time. d4. To be honest, I was not expecting this move. I was expecting king e2. So d4 allows me to take. We trade a bit. I don't have too many options. I should probably just play quickly here. Take and then b6. Or knight c6. I think knight c6. Take. And white's pieces are actually kind of active. So I attack and defend. What is PNW? Sometimes I'm scared to ask what acronyms mean. Oh, Pacific Northwest. Okay. There we go. It's on my bucket list. It's actually probably one of the like top places I want to visit in the US. Like Oregon, Washington, summertime. Or like these national parks, Yosemite. See the sequoias. Or even Alaska, but not in the wintertime. Why Oregon? I heard it's really nice. Like for nature and hiking. I went to Portland when I was 8. There's a US like Scholastic National Tournament there. Okay, so take a 95? Not sure if I'm achieving much. Bishop c5 first. This actually sets up a trap. Because rook e1 looks very natural. But then I played this. Oh, maybe it's playable for white. There's like bishop. No, bishop f1, I have rook d2. And bishop e2 would hang e3. So there are potential tactics. I don't think that helps white. Because I still have this idea of take, take, and take, which would win a pawn. Also, bishop e3 walks into this. So f4. Interesting. First move I'm considering is rook takes d2, which looks pretty good. Gotta watch my time. Rook d2 takes rook d8. Let's do it. Oh, there's also this. Start with this. Okay, if I take... Actually can't afford to lose f7. I might have to play rook d7. Not exactly what I want. Yeah, white's getting a little bit of counterplay. I was about to blunder there to play this. I was about to blunder rook e8, bishop e5. So the idea is to meet rook f1 with rook d7. It's passive. But long term, if I can just avoid losing a pawn, the structure is still much better for me. It just needs some time to improve. Bishop b6. Like I want to play a6, probably want the bishop on b8. King wants to come to e8. Maybe b5. Yeah, this is 10-0. I think g6 is actually the better move. It looks weakening, but the pawns restrict the bishop. I was actually scared of h6 bishop. Or, yeah, h6 bishop h7 was scary. Now I still have this plan. Bishop a4, rook d2. But then I can't defend. Not quite what I want. It's kind of awkward. Like my rook has to defend, but in doing so it blocks a bishop. I have this move. I can't afford to take that. No, I'm misplaying this. Time's a concern. Not so much breathing room. Trying to shuffle around the pieces. That's a good move. This. C5's coming. Came down to the wire. The endgame. Final position? Final position is drawn, right? Like king c3. Here, it looks almost winning, but I think white's just in time. If white can get here, it's a draw. Yeah, it's one tempo too short. Like if black can get here, it's winning, but this would be a draw. What a fight. White played well, given the circumstances. Yeah, maybe I misevaluated too. I was probably overconfident here. That black should be doing very well, like double pawns, rook battery, but after rook f1, I also have weaknesses. And then I was just kind of on the back foot for a good chunk of the endgame. The engine says close to equal. So bishop d3. Wow. Top engine move. g5. Okay. Not sure when I'll encounter this opening next, but g5, that's kind of funny. Takes. And then knight f6. So I played knight f6 without the inclusion of g5, knight g5. So why is this good for black? I guess, okay, if pawn takes as queen takes with a fork, It looks like black's threatening this too. Because then if this take, there's a fork. So it's awkward for white. Bishop e2 is not an easy move to find. Okay, bishop c2 is probably most human. h6 take. Black can use the g file. If castle, bishop h3 is crushing. Okay, that's cool. I mean, even if I consider g5, I don't know if I could get myself to play it. But now that I know it's a good move, it's also maybe kind of thematic when the bishop goes to d3 like this. I'll keep it in mind. Okay, let's do one more. Again, if anyone has any favorite openings, let me know in chat. This time I'm white. I'll play e4. First game I played London. I see a request for Scotch or Danish. Queen opening. London is a queen's pawn opening, which I played. Let's play knight c3. Someone wanted Vienna, which does involve knight c3 on move 2, but this is a knight c3 Sicilian. And we'll go into a Grand Prix. General rule is if black allows bishop takes c6 and the pawns get doubled, it's something to go for. And this is a very easy opening to learn and to play. Get the setup with knight f3 and castle and d3. And in the middle game, there will be two different plans to go for. One is just to attack with the eventual queen maneuver, f5, and bishop coming in. Other plan is sometimes to play positionally with b3, bishop b2. In this case, like black will probably be solid on the queen side, so it doesn't make sense to slow play. It probably makes sense to just try and rip apart the king side. I've seen like even strong titled players call bishop b5 here the Roslimo, but it's not quite a Roslimo because Roslimo is knight f3 on move 2. The big difference is f4 is included. Like usually in Roslimo, the pawn is back on f2, and then it's way more positional. The pawn on f4, some players maybe are uncomfortable, the king's more exposed, but if anything, it helps white attack quicker. I see the comment from Oogly Boogly Boo, who says, I thought Eric played exclusively on Lichess. I explained at the beginning of the stream. I've tried logging into my Lichess account earlier, but I got locked out. Like something got messed up with my login, so I'm on chess.com. But I've never been exclusive to Lichess or chess.com. If anything, I've probably been playing a bit more often on chess.com in recent days. I've gone through phases. F5 or queen h4? Maybe f5 first. Connect 4. Open up the bishop. Knight on c7 is a bit restricted. My plan is probably bishop h6 and eventually checkmate. Like rook h3 and crash through. I did want to play on Lichess today, but yeah, what to do? It's still chess. Trying to be instructive. Okay, I'm just gonna play this. I think black has to go back. We'll repeat once, and then I'll decide what to do. Bishop g5 maybe. Probably bishop g5. The queen, I mean, there's queen g4. I guess there's some argument for queen g4. It's hard to decide when like both options look good. I'm gonna play bishop g5. This is easier to understand. The other rook comes in quite quickly. I do see this maneuver, like queen d4 check and then back to f6 or g7. But I think white should still be in control. Wait, they changed quick game review. To be honest, I'm not so familiar with what the changes are. I don't use game review that often, unless it's to like maybe see where the blunders and brilliant moves were. I much prefer the game review on Lichess. Like for me, it's just easier to understand. Like with the center pawn loss and the move classifications too. Was chess always your full time, or was it something else? And chess has been different things for me over the course of my life. Like when I was a baby, chess meant nothing to me. When I was 7, it was a fun board game that I was really into. When I was like 8 and 9 and around that age, I was chess was like a competitive hobby for me. And then it gradually became like a bigger and bigger area I focused on. In high school, I started teaching chess. And then after graduating, I kind of took some time to try and figure out what I wanted to do. But I was still teaching chess. And I guess chess has always been some form of job, at least in my later years. Okay, queen f4. Like, I really don't want to trade queens. Queen f4, queen g3. Maybe queen g3 makes more sense. Attacking the knight, keeping this tension, threatening to take and open that file. But yeah, today chess is still very much like my career. Sometimes I struggle to tell like normal people what I do for a living who aren't familiar with the chess world. But I'm basically a chess content creator and educator, I think is what I tell most people. Not a professional player, though. Okay, I'm considering taking, but then there's takes. Maybe e5 first. f6. Yeah, this pawn on f6 is really nice. Knight e4, there's knight d4. So maybe I'll take first. I want to make sure I handle this properly. Take. Rook e3. Maybe rook f4. Yeah, rook e8 is coming. It's actually not that simple. I'm gonna play rook f4. Idea is to eventually swing over. Yeah, rook h4, queen d2. Wanted to play rook d1, but then queen h5 is kind of annoying. Wait, what if I play rook f1, rook e2, rook h4, queen d2, queen h3, but then rook e1? Yeah, what to do? Starting with this. Looking at rook e2, queen f3 maybe? Take and then take on b7. Rook e8. And then rook e4. And b5 should eventually hang. But rook e4, there's take zone. Queen f8. Long term, black's back rank should be quite weak. As long as I keep my pawn on f6. And queen stay on the board. I might play h3 at the right moment. Hopefully not the wrong moment. But h3 should be like a very useful move. Making sure this rook's not babysitting the back rank. Okay. Black's gonna double up. I guess b6 will come. Yeah, it allows the queen to escape. I'm fantasizing about trapping the queen, but yeah, when the rook moves, there's queen d2. I might just hold my ground. Like b6, rook f2. Yeah, that's interesting. So if I take b7, I blunder this. If I take and then king h2, that actually looks reasonable. This is still attacked. Kind of, but not really, because this. It's not easy, though. Queen e5 is coming. I don't think I'm better here. As much as I want to be better. There's a tricky line. d4, take, queen. It's actually playable? Or did I just blunder? Take queen e5, queen g3. I have queen f4, worst case. I thought I had queen g3, but then there's queen f6. I have to play queen f4. Not what I want. So likely trading into the rook ending. Is the pawn a strength or a weakness? Black's a little bit slow to win it. That's a good move. g4. So if this, I play this and the king can't come out. Problem is, I don't know if I can make progress. I also don't know if black can make progress. Hmm. I'm running out of useful moves. Black should have taken f6 there. It's a 3-result game, given the time situation. Wow. Black's holding on. I should be able to win h6. And g5 will be weak. Not that I can win it. Okay. Slightly dirty finish. I didn't want to like spend the time to try and offer a draw there. You just have to play moves and pray that you're quicker. I mean, my opponent defended very well to equalize, but also probably I was like worse in the endgame there. Better out of the opening. Was there ever a knockout blow? The engine likes knight e4. I didn't want to allow knight d4. So the idea is f6 and then get the knight to f6. Are you proud of such wins? No, not at all. But this is the nature of no increment chess. Yeah, not a game I should be too proud of. Also, given the position in the middle game, but definitely worth like taking away a lesson. Like what I could have done to maximize the edge. F takes g6. Yeah, somehow I considered this move at some point and then I just got fixated on e5. But it would be nice if like the queen takes and then queen e5 is really nice. Rook g3 is hard to stop. Also hitting this and this. Yeah, this would have been the cleanest. And already here it's like almost equal. It's kind of surprising given this pawn on f6, but white doesn't have much. Like black is okay. And then later, yeah, so initially I wanted to play queen g3. Idea, if I lose my rook, there's queen b8 with mate. But there's queen takes f6, and then I lose a pawn. So I play queen f4. It's equal material. This should be objectively equal. But here it's actually black who's probably playing for a win because f6 is a liability rather than a strength. And my king can't improve that easily. It's going to be cut off on the e-file. I kind of just had to wait. Wow, it's just losing here. Welcome back to Phillips. Hope you're doing well. Happy 14 months. There was a moment, where was it? Oh yeah, here, rook takes f6. Much simpler, just, yeah, get rid of this pawn, and then e6 is always defended. And then it kind of equalized, and then it was just a mud fight. Okay. It's almost 1 a.m. for me. I think I'm going to call it a knight. Or maybe a bishop. Why did he move the rook? LOL, your king was stuck. At what point? Oh, like move the rook off the e-file. So earlier. It was to attack the pawn. So it's actually, I think, very much justified. It is true the king is able to come to the center, but I'm losing a pawn. I can't defend this. I played this going for this, but yeah, black should have taken on f6. So anyway, got some games in, raised my rapid rating. I hope people can maybe take away a few lessons from these games. Yeah, I wasn't streaming on YouTube. Maybe this will go on the extra channel. I haven't posted a video on the extra channel in a long time, but I think it's probably good enough quality for the extra channel. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, follow on Twitch. Future streams will probably be multi-streamed. I just didn't get around to scheduling and making the thumbnail, so yeah, stay tuned for more content. My schedule's a bit sporadic coming up, so yeah, I really don't have a schedule set. Like I can't play Title Tuesday, unfortunately, this Tuesday. I might play one of the 3-0 Thursday events, like maybe the morning one. Thursday is Thanksgiving though, so I have to save time for a nice meal. Thank you, Chief Sonar, with the Prime sub. Will love a multi-stream, almost never use Twitch. Yeah, YouTube has usually has a larger crowd, but I know there's still a community on Twitch. And yeah, for a long time I was streaming exclusively on Twitch. So anyway, thanks again everyone for tuning in. I'll be back soon. Adios.